Hello everyone, it's your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One Only, here with another exciting live stream. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my day-to-day, August 14th, 2019. Today I mainly did work, as always. I'm actually pretty ahead with everything for work, so I've gotten most things done. By the way, my niece is here. She's just kind of breathing on the side. It's good to see. Hey. Well, yo, Matt, welcome to the stream. Matt said, calling you out. So if I can predict what you're gonna say, Matt, I imagine you're gonna be like, you went from having a very consistent schedule to messing up the day after I give you the calling me out for the bracelet. I already got her bracelet. I remembered. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't forget about that, Matt. Fool me once, shame on me. Let's see. So Matt said no, no, no. Okay. At first, I thought you were gonna get onto me due to the sudden inconsistency in the live stream schedule. That was because we ended up doing a date impromptu, me and Beth, yesterday. But don't worry, that's not like a regular thing. I normally try not to have dates in the middle of the week so that I can do the live streams on time. Matt said the calling you out was for the retcon slash reboot video. Interesting. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. What were your thoughts on the retcon slash reboot video? I honestly didn't know that you saw it. Like I didn't even know that you had watched that before. And then Matt said, read the comment. Oh snap! You posted a comment, Matt. Matt interacting. Okay. Let me pull this up. Wow! I accidentally made the live chat full screen. um, Now I have to figure out how to get rid of it. Ooh, I actually don't know. Um, hmm, hmm. Let's see. Matt said seeing the call out at maximum size. Give me a moment. I gotta like remake the pop out window. Okay. Hey, that's a normally sized pop out window. We're working here. So now I'm going to pull up your comment. Let me get there. Do 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 do. When Matt does comments, but it won't just tell you what they are. Okay, so Matt said, calling you out here. A retcon isn't the changing of continuity in general, explanation or not. Rebooting is explicitly either a form of retcon or just the complete overhaul of the continuity to the point that it is effectively its own continuity. So in the video, when I explain the difference between retcons and reboots, I'm explaining explicitly the difference between how Marvel does retcons and how DC does reboots. DC does reboots as events. They're things that happen in the timeline. And if you start at the beginning of the series and read all the way through the different comics to where we are now, you'll understand what's going on because all of these events are showing you why continuity is changing and how it's changing. Where Marvel doesn't do that. Rather than having events that explain the changes to continuity, they simply just suddenly change continuity, and then that's kind of it. You just got to deal with it. Then Matt said, but you explain retcons and reboots in generality, not as their specific difference. And I understand where you're coming from. I suppose I wanted to make sure that I see. I, I suppose that I wanted to make sure that I didn't confuse anybody. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that people knew that when I was talking about retcons, that I didn't have to define what a retcon was and then specify, and then this is how Marvel does it, and then define how like a reboot is, and then go like, and this is how DC does reboots. And then Matt said, well, the description was wrong, hence the calling out. Do you feel like you understand where I'm coming from better though? Like why I did it the way I did? Because I try to keep those videos relatively short, and that video ended up being like 6 minutes or so. So it ended up being like a lot longer than I wanted it to be. It's weird to say a lot longer. It's only a minute or so, but that's still more than I wanted. So I didn't want to go into too much detail about each thing, and then have to specify what it's like for each universe. And then Matt said, Jet, you can make a 10-minute video. Stop it. You can do a lot more than 10 minutes. I've done like 8 hours or more. It's just for those videos in particular, I try to make them shorter. The ones that aren't the vlogs. They're essentially topics that I want to talk about, but I just feel like on the vlog I may or may not get a chance to. So I try to make quick videos where you guys can like check it out, and then in the comment section we can have like a discussion about it. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to make those videos 5 minutes. Let's see. Beth sent me a message in Facebook Messenger. She said, "Can't you be born with powers in the Marvel universe, or can you?" So in the Marvel universe, if you're born with like the X gene, you could be a mutant. But within the context of why she's asking, no. She's asking because we were talking about the concept of like a Marvel Isekai story, because there actually is a Marvel Isekai character already, Gwenpool. She's like a comic book nerd from our world who gets trapped in the world of Marvel Comics. Um, and she was like, I asked Beth, if you were trapped in the Marvel Universe, what would you do? And she mentioned, like, I would try and get mind control powers and destroy the world and laugh about it. And I was like, how do you plan on getting mind control powers? Because it's not that you're like reincarnated in the Marvel Universe, it's just that you, as you currently are, just appear in the comics suddenly. So I'm gonna clarify that in a message that I'm going to send to her. Also, Matt, I heard word on the grapevine that you're coming back this weekend. Is that true, Matt? Is it? I don't mean to call you out. I don't mean to put you on blast, but is that facts? Is that really happening? Matt said, dump some chemicals on yourself, or find Doc Ock. So why do you think Doc Ock is a good person to go to get powers? I've never thought of him as like a power broker type of character. Then Matt said, yes. Why are you shocked? What do you mean, why am I shocked? You didn't tell me. You didn't let your boy know directly. Hey, you're coming back this weekend. Yo, are you going to go by Collins? I'm planning on going over to Collins this Sunday. Collins said we're going to get together, play video games. Matt said, Jet, I am a senior. I know you're a senior, and I know that you still have more. Well, actually, I didn't know you were a senior now that I think about it. I know that you're a senior now, and I knew that you still have more school. Um, but I didn't know when you were going to be back. Are you still in Emerald Ridge? Like, when you come back, are you still going to be in that complex? Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy and any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Matt said, Doc Ock, which you keep spelling oct with a T. I'm used to it just being Ock, like Doc Ock, would have tech. So it's probable he has tech for mind control. But I don't think you should check out Doc Ock if you're trying to get technology rather than just get powers. If you want tech, you would go to someone like the Tinkerer. The Tinkerer's whole thing is that he gives technology to villains. And Beth sounds like if she went to the Marvel Universe, she'd try to be a villain. She should go see the Tinkerer. If she went to go see Doc Ock right now, Doc Ock currently in comics is a superhero. He's the superior Spider-Man. And he's like in San Francisco. Um, and I don't think he would help her. He'd be like, "Oh, you're trying to take over the world? I'm a good guy." He's like, I would just stop you. Let's see. Ryan's talking about something that's political, so I'm gonna dodge that like the plague. Also, Ryan, this is my niece. Then Matt said, "How blatant are we?" Oh, are you talking about how Ryan's jumping in? Oh, wait. Are you talking about how blatant is Beth? Like, if she was to go up to Doc Ock, would she be like, I'm trying to take over the world. Can you give me mind control? Because if that's what you're asking, Beth's pretty direct. She might just say that. Which, in that case, I think Doc Ock would be like, oh, prison. You know what I mean? That, or he wouldn't care. He might be like, you're just a random person. And he just probably would just be like, you can say all you want. I'm not gonna like actually give you anything.
What's so funny about me?
Oh, it's just because in the background, I know you've been occasionally doing like the weird faces and stuff, and I didn't know how you were gonna react when I looked at you. Let's see. So Matt said, then chemicals it is. I don't think you should just dump random chemicals on yourself in the Marvel universe. I know there are a lot of crazy ways that people get powers, but they're pretty specific. People don't normally just get powers from anything. You know what I mean? Mm. Ryan hitting us up with more of those political topics. So again, I'm gonna try and dodge that. But I do want to know how your day is today, Ryan. If you like to talk about it. Matt says his opinion on Ryan's comment on what is your opinion on solitary confinement. He said the opinion is non-existent. So I guess that's Matt saying that he has no real opinion on it. Let's see. I'm gonna reply to Beth's thing at one point, and then Matt said, "No, your opinion, Jet." He's like, he didn't ask for my opinion. He asked for your opinion. Well, I'm not gonna comment on it. I'm dodging those political topics. Let's see. Um, people naturally born in the Marvel universe can potentially be born with the X gene. But if you just suddenly arrived there, you wouldn't automatically become a mutant. Got him. Okay, so Matt said exactly. Then Ryan said, I was reading about, oh, well, again, political thing. I'm gonna dodge that. Do you feel like overall you had a good day today, Ryan? And do you have any highlights from your day? Similar question to Matt. Have you been having a good day today? And do you have any highlights from your day so far? Let's see. Matt said, Ryan, why don't you ever just discuss this when you talk to Jet on a hangout? Ryan brings up like history stuff sometimes when we hang out like in person. Ryan likes to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. That's like one of his like big things that he really vibes with. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. Oh, I have an idea. I'm gonna tell Beth that my niece is on the vlog. There we go. I think that might encourage Beth to check it out. Let's see. Do 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 do. Then Matt said, rather than bringing it up here. Then Ryan said, this is the hangout. And then Matt said, Ryan, this is not the hangout. I mean, this is pretty much a hangout. You know what I mean? I see this almost like a video call, but like anybody can tune in. I think that's like a hangout. Matt said, nor is this the place for political discussion. I will say, this isn't really the place for political discussion. I have to agree with Matt on that. Well, we normally try to dodge that. Then Beth said, hi, Olivia. She's a little congested. I hope you feel better soon. And then Ryan said it should be. Then Beth said, I agree. No politics, please. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of talking politics. Also, I noticed we have 4 viewers and 0 likes. Can we get this video to 4 viewers and 4 likes? Hey, Olivia, should they smash that like button?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know how much, but they should get like 5 million. I don't know.
5 million. That's a big number. Can we get this to? We got 4 viewers. Can we get this to 5 million likes? Can you count to 5 million?
100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, and there you go to that, and there you go 101. Wait, 1,101, 1,802, 1,803, 1,804, 1,105. What 50? What? I just
that was an interesting try. I thought that was fun. Um, Ryan said another political thing. Moving on from that, Matt said like how much of Jet ignoring political discussions does it take for political discussions to not be brought up? Then Beth said yes, 5 million likes because you deserve it. Kissy face, heart emoji, smiley face. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. I noticed nobody's hit the like button once yet. Can we can we start with one, build up to 5 million over time? We can get there eventually. Let's see. Then Matt said, or 5,000,001 dislikes. Then Matt said, "How about 0 dislikes? Sounds better than me." Hit us up with that smiley face emoji. Ryan's hitting us up with more political talk. We're gonna skirt that. Can you skirt? Olivia, can you do that? Hey, there you go. And we're gonna dodge that political topic for now. Do 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 do. Oh, Matt, you checked out the reboots and retcon video that I did today. Did you check out any of the other videos that I did today? I actually don't remember all the stuff that I made today. Not Ryan. Beth said, maybe have that conversation with yourself because I will not participate in political discussions. The way you phrased it as a sentence was interesting. Well, you did it as a question, but it felt like a. I guess it is a suggestion. I don't know. I was just surprised by the question mark at the end, but I get where you're coming from. Matt said no. Understandable. The other two videos I did, one was Follow Me on RapPad, which I don't think Matt would care about, so I'm not surprised that he didn't check it out. And the other video was, well, I'm surprised you didn't check out the Superpower Battles Volume 5 video that I did. Um, just because, I don't know, you've shown somewhat interest in Superpower Battles, at least the discussion of it. So I thought maybe you would have checked out that video. Then Matt said, Jet, you don't make many videos that are worth investment. Oh, shots fired. Uh, but understandable. I mean, it really is up to like individual taste. It's a very subjective thing, whether or not people want to get into the video. So I get you. I guess my question would be, Matt, what motivated you to check out comics reboots and retcons rant, which should have a comma in it? I just realized as I read it out loud, it just didn't sound right. Welcome back. Matt said, Jet, your writing is bad. Why would I want to subject myself to 5 to 6 minutes of pain? Because it's edgy. Because that just sounds edgy. The concept of submitting yourself to 5 to 6 minutes of pain. Let's see. Beth said, Matt, please take your critical comments elsewhere. All of the question marks always get me at the end. So I don't know why I'm not expecting them, but they are suggestions. They do start with maybe. Matt said, because you have bad opinions about things, and I wanted to call you out for something. So you were just ready. You were like, I know he's probably gonna mess this video up. Well, let's hit him up. Also, I don't mind Matt expressing his opinions. That's totally fine. Let's see. Matt said, criticism is important for growth. See, Matt is saying that it's constructive criticism. He's trying to build me into the author that he knows I can be, so I can prevail. Then Matt said, it's just that Jet doesn't grow. Oh, Matt, did you see the video I did on Lego? It's not Lego Worlds 2. Lego Movie 2, the video game. Well, have a great night, you guys. On Lego Movie 2, the video game, and whether or not I should buy it. Because I feel like I should buy it. It's essentially Lego Worlds 2 if it had DC characters in it. Hello? Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, but Matt, did you see that video on the Lego Movie 2 video game? And whether or not I should buy it. I asked because you're so critical of Lego Worlds, so I'm curious if you would be down for me essentially getting Lego Worlds 2. Then Ryan said, Jet, your political opinions require criticism. Ryan's like, I'm trying to help you grow into the politically invested person I know that you can be. Matt said, Jet, I can tell you that Lego Movie 2 is a game with actual design rather than Lego Worlds, which has no design. That doesn't make the game good, but it makes it better than Lego Worlds. I don't know about better than Lego Worlds, Matt. Let's talk about it. So Lego Worlds has procedurally generated worlds, which I think is one thing that it has over the Lego Movie 2 video game. Secondly, Lego Worlds after a certain point lets you just keep creating your own worlds. You can just keep making them. Where Lego Movie 2 only gives you one custom world. There's only one world that you can customize. What's up with that? What's up with that? At the same time, I do like that Lego Movie 2, as you say, does have like structure. I like that instead of it's weird. It's weird. There's a lot of give and take with the Lego Movie 2 video game. Because while we get licensed characters and we get worlds for each biome, we lose out on worlds that have combination biomes, and we lose randomly generated worlds, and we lose the ability to create as many worlds as we want, and instead only have one world that we can build on. You know, there's a lot of give and take, and I don't know how I feel about the give and take. Let's see. Ryan said, "How can a game be better than Lego Worlds?" Lego Worlds. Matt said, "Jet, what does procedural generation even do for anyone?" So the procedurally generated worlds, Matt, are that hotness. Because of the fact that you can keep traveling to different worlds, experimenting with different things, popping in characters that you want to interact with, animals, vehicles, using different items, terraforming worlds, finding dungeons, interacting with NPCs, discovering new things. See, that's a big part of Lego Worlds is that you travel from world to world and you discover new items that you can add to your inventory, creatures that you can summon, and vehicles that you can conjure, as well as tools that help you to manipulate the world around you in order to complete missions for NPCs. So a big part of the game is constant discovery. You're motivated to travel to these worlds in order to like just get more things so that you can do more things in the game. Lego Movie 2, by having such a limited number of worlds, I imagine also just has a limited number of NPC missions and a limited number of items that you can actually get and unlock. I just feel like Lego Worlds, which is a game that I like put tons and tons of hours into, um, it's just gonna end up being so it's gonna be hard to follow by a game that legitimately is like, yeah, there are only this many worlds, and once you've gone to all of them and you've done all the missions and you've gotten all the things, that's it. you know, and there aren't like the procedurally generated worlds with different dungeons. You're never going to go to a world that has multiple biomes in it because every world has just one biome. I don't know. I also liked that there were different size worlds. There was so much going on in Lego Worlds that made it like just so good. But Lego Movie 2, it's like you could almost say it's like watered down Lego Worlds, but I feel like it's sugar watered down Lego Worlds. Like you're still getting something out of it, but it's still not the same. Let's see. Where we at? Matt said, it's infinite content, but to what extent? Then Ryan said, exactly, infinite creation. To which then Matt replied, at what point does something infinite become trite? At what point do elements in infinity just repeat in very slight deriv- the I th- derivations, slight derivations. I feel like that's not the word. I know what you mean, but there's something that's. I think you mean like deviations or whatever. Like it would deviate. Whatever. Anyways, Matt said to the point that the differences are indistinguishable. But when will you put tons and tons of more hours into Lego Worlds? Well, I feel like part of what disappointed me on Lego Worlds, because I was so ready to jump back into Lego Worlds when I heard that the DLC, like the new DLC pack, came out um, in July of this year. But then when I learned it was the last DLC pack that was going to come out, and that it wasn't going to change the procedural world generation, it just gave you things that you could build into pre-existing worlds to add more content. I was kind of like, oh, looks like I don't care. Yeah, because at first I thought the new DLC pack that was going to come out in July, which I have, was going to make it where you could suddenly get like new worlds that you'd never seen before generated. Now we're getting, well, now all we're getting, because this is going to be the last DLC pack that came out this July, are things that let you modify pre-existing worlds, and I'm not as interested in that. um, I kind of wanted them to continue to support Lego Worlds over time, but it seems like instead of doing that, they made the Lego Movie 2 video game to be like it's kind of like Lego Worlds 2, but not really. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna miss out on it because it's not Lego Worlds 2. If they had called it that, I would have bought it. They made it Lego Lego Movie 2 the video game, which I avoided like the plague because I didn't care about. But now I'm like, oh, if I knew what it was, I probably would have supported it upon release. Then Matt said, can you honestly state that you can jump back in for another 10, 20, 30 hours? For Lego Worlds, if they kept releasing DLC, I think every time they would have dropped a new Lego Worlds DLC, paid or not, I would have checked it out. I'm gonna be entirely honest. Like I think if I knew that the DLC was on a regular schedule and they were gonna keep the game going, I would keep hitting it up. Lego Worlds as it is currently, I'm not particularly interested in checking out at the moment, only because I feel like Lego Movie 2, the video game, is the natural progression of Lego Worlds, but also while taking a couple steps back. Now, in a co op setting with another person, I would play more Lego Worlds, like extensively. I do think if Ryan was over and we were playing Lego Worlds, because he's one of my friends who's gotten into Lego Worlds the most out of anybody that I've shown it. If Ryan was hanging out, and he was like, "Yo, do you want to play Lego Worlds?" I think we could straight up just play it for hours. I really do think we could just like go hard on it. Um, but on my own, with no new DLC coming out, I probably would hit up the Lego Movie 2 video game, more likely than not. Also, I want to look up if the Lego Movie 2 video game has any DLC because I really want to know. Then Matt said, and not feel a sense of boredom. Ryan said, the enjoyment of playing such a good game. And then he said, "What do you think of elephants?" Of elephants, which he quoted from his sister. Well, Ryan's sister, which is ambiguous. That could be one of two people, I believe. I think Ryan only has two sisters. I imagine it's Michelle. What do I think of elephants? I think they shouldn't have made a Dumbo live action movie. I haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it. I imagine it's not very good. Haven't even seen animated Dumbo. Why would I care about it in live action? And that's my opinion on elephants. Let's see. Also, whenever people bring up elephants, there's an animal crackers joke about the elephants tasting like everything else. I don't remember what it's from, but it's from some popular media. I don't know if it was Robot Chicken or what, but somebody made that joke. Maybe it was Dave Chappelle. Shit, I don't know. But there's a quote in my head about elephant animal crackers. I can't tell you where I got it from. Let's see. Matt said Lego Worlds in its current state. In its current state, nah. If they were continually supporting it with new DLC, yeah. Um, to be honest, if they dropped one more Lego Worlds DLC pack, just one more, I think it would have a lot more replay value. If all it had was, and hear me out, new worlds that could be generated that have superhero worlds, not necessarily with licensed characters, but just characters they make up that are generic heroes and villains. And sometimes you have to go on missions where you like stop the villains from doing stuff, similar to the like old West worlds they already have in Lego Worlds, where they have like sheriffs and they have bandits and stuff like that. Same kind of thing, but just give them weapons that give them pseudo superpowers. Because more or less in Lego Worlds, you have stuff like that. Like you have items that let you just do things like ice guns and like fire guns and stuff. But that kind of stuff normally is reserved for the player. The NPCs don't have like ice guns and fire guns and slime guns and stuff like that. So I would like a world where it's supposed to straight up be superheroes and supervillains, give them special items like the type of special items you have, and just have the same random encounter thing set up where when you travel around that world, suddenly the bad guys could show up and just start doing something and you have to like help out. And I think that would be enough to get me continually playing. I would do that. There's a lot of like character customization that you can do in Lego Worlds. You can also create your own worlds. So if they made it a style, like a biome, I would create superhero worlds and stuff like that. I just think that'd be really cool. And I feel like that's what they should do, but they won't because they're not going to support Lego Worlds anymore. Let's see. Matt said that is the problem with infinite content. It's the same scenario with Minecraft. Procedural generation and infinite capability drives up the moment someone gets bored with it. And can you make your own fun? Sure, but that doesn't make it a good game. Now, when it comes to Minecraft, I'd highly recommend that you guys check out my video I did on unofficial novels, weird Fortnite and Minecraft books. Because Minecraft has a weird commercial use thing on their webpage where they're like, yeah, hey, do you like Minecraft? You can just make books on Minecraft and you don't need our permission and you can publish them and make money off of them if you like follow these steps. Like as long as you don't break these rules as written, you can write like Minecraft fan fiction and just sell it. If you guys want to know more about what I'm talking about, you guys should hit up that video because it's a weird video, but I had a lot of fun looking into it and learning more about it. So Matt said, and can oh I already read what Matt said. Ryan said, "What do you think of elephants in circuses?" Quote from Ryan's sister. So, see, that's a trap because that's gonna go into a conversation about like animal rights, which is a political issue. Ba-da-ba-ba. Dodge of the plague. Then Matt said, "Jet, that book has something to with this discussion." I wish that your all caps comment just had proper structure. You have no punctuation and you forgot to say do. You were close though, Matt. You were close. Oh, yeah, I was gonna look up Lego Movie 2 game DLC. I wanted to know if there's gonna be any DLC. Fingers crossed, guys. Because if they do give us DLC, could be poppin'. Let's see. Matt corrects to that book has nothing to do with this discussion. Let's see. Then Ryan said Michelle is exasperated by your refusal to comment on elephants. So I imagine Michelle did something along the lines of, am I correct? Do 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 do. Let me look up exasperate. Irritated and frustrated with someone intensely. I feel like she scoffed, but I am not aware. Did she audibly scoff? I'm not there to see it, but my scoff senses are tingling. Let's see. Matt said, "Why doesn't Michelle just use her own YouTube account?" It would allow me to get an additional viewer or possible like. Dun 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 dun. X Files. Do 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 do. Let's see. Apparently, the Lego Movie 2 video game received free DLC in April of this year. Interesting, interesting. And I see some things that are saying Lego Movie 2 video game Galactic Adventures DLC pack. So that's a thing, I guess. Why do I care? What comes in it? I want to know what's in it. Let's see. Ryan said, "Why won't Jet just tell us?" And Matt said, "Because politics." Let's see. So there's going to be a new level. Let's see. Ooh, the Lego Justice League are involved in it. Okay. That seems pretty cool. Let's see. Something, something, something. Something, 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 something. Something I don't care about. Yeah, that level sounds dumb. I don't care about the second level. Dun 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 dun. The last level. Dun 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 dun. Trying to keep this spoiler free, the location is a prequel of sorts, retelling how Rex met and trained his raptor crew. In between training the raptors with fun activities, dun 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 dun. Dun. I didn't see Lego Movie 2, so that last DLC pack I don't think I'll care about. But the first one, involving the Justice League with a brand new level, that seems pretty dope. I think I'd like that. And it's free DLC. Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy the Lego Movie 2 video game at some point. Don't know when. Probably after I beat some point. Don't know when. Probably after I beat Lego DC Supervillains. And hopefully before uh, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga comes out. Let's see. Matt said, "This is what is brought about by political discussion." Then Ryan said, "Elephants are too political, guys." And then Matt said, "Yes, I mean, we could talk about like non-political elephants. Hmm. You know what, Ryan? That is one political conversation that I'm somewhat interested in discussing. So, Ryan said, what do you guys think about the politicization of video games after terrorist attacks? If I understand where Ryan's coming from, I think he's talking about how, in many cases after a disaster involving extreme violence, a lot of politicians will be like, these video games are corrupting our youth, just like Spider-Man. I'm James Drummond Jameson, except I'm a politician, and I think video games like Spider-Man should be banned because they're a bad influence on children. So, um, what are you guys' thoughts on that kind of thing? I personally don't believe that video games are enough to set someone over the edge and make them do something terribly violent on their own. I feel like someone has to already be predisposed to want to do violence. Um, and that it's not like the video game alone is going to make them be like, oh, the violence is surging through me. I can't control it. You know, it's not going to be like that. It's not like a symbiote or anything weird. So I personally don't think uh, video games are the cause of extreme violence, nor should they be blamed for extreme violence that is committed by like young offenders or whatever, or older offenders. Now, do I think certain video games have like really intense ultraviolet themes? For example, Hatred being a recent video game that came out relatively recent that I feel like had a very extreme tone and definitely was like kind of weird. I will say there are video games that exist that are like kind of weird and kind of extreme. But I would also like to say that that's why we have the ESRB rating system, and those games specifically are supposed to be for appropriate audiences. So I don't really think it matters. You know what I mean? It's kind of whatever. Then Matt said, "You won't beat Lego DC villains before Star Wars." You gotta believe. Let's see. Matt said, "Mortal Kombat and Hot Coffee says hi." So does Night Trap. True. Those were all very important video games for why the ESRB ended up being a thing. And Nintendo, by the way, when they were discussing like the creation of the ESRB, was dunking on Sega. I almost said on Genesis. They were like, "This is Sega's fault. Nintendo has been perfectly fine. We haven't been doing anything weird." Well, Hot Coffee, I think, is kind of different. I was about to say Hot Coffee was directly involved with ESRB. Is Hot Coffee why we have the A rating or not for video games? I don't know if the A rating existed back when the ESRB first started or if it specifically came out because of Hot Coffee. I don't remember. Um, but they were like Sega with their Mortal Kombat having blood in it and with their Night Trap. No, 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 no. Then Ryan said it is a propagandic distraction from the real causes of domestic terrorism. See, Ryan, if we had just stayed in the video games, uh, I think that would have been good. Um, Now, one thing that I do feel weird about when it comes to video games is that Emo Shape, that's right, I'm about to start talking about sentient AI, is trying to really push sentient AI in video games. And I do think it's going to get weird once you have ultra-violent video games like Hatred. But a selling point of the game is, and all the characters in the game feel emotions and have their own personalities and have the ability of choice. It's like, oh, well, once you start doing stuff like that, at what point is it like morally wrong? Like, at what point is it going like too far and you're just gunning down like supposedly sentient AI? Let's see. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Matt said, honestly, I interpreted the comment being how are video games changed after such attacks occur to try and minimize the suffering that might occur. That was your take on it, Matt? Um, I don't know. I don't feel like video games need to necessarily change anything about how they are. Just because the rating system kind of already exists, I think the rating system is fine. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have a game that's like really crazy and it has like darker themes, or just like stuff that's a little too extreme for younger people, then you just rate it higher. You know what I mean? Um, it's the same thing we do for movies. It's the same thing we do for TV. Um, I don't think video games need to be altered to be like less violent or less disturbing. They just need an appropriate rating. Let's see. Ryan had a political comment on the subject. Matt said stuff like how Twin Towers aren't really put into video games anymore. Interesting. I honestly wasn't aware of that. Isn't that more because the Twin Towers now would have to be like a period piece thing? Like, are you telling me that if they made a modern video game that took place pre 9/11, that they wouldn't have Twin Towers in New York? Because that'd be kind of weird. Let's see. Then Matt said, 1990s Nintendo. We are the paragons of ESRB, current Nintendo. No censorship on our console. And then Matt said, not contradictory views, just funny. I saw a video done by Scott the Woz where he showed a clip where a Nintendo representative was talking to a bunch of politicians, and he was like, "I assure you, Night Trap will never be on a Nintendo console." And then he showed like Night Trap for the Nintendo Switch kind of thing. Yeah, they're like, well, that was a lie. uh, Ryan said, but mentioning video games after the terrorism is propaganda. He said the video games aren't what's killing people, neither are movies or TV. I agree. I also agree that video games aren't the cause of any of this stuff. Then Matt said, of course, but that won't stop people from thinking that. I feel like video games get such a bad rap in particular because they're like, it's different from movies and TV, because for movies and TV, you're kind of passively watching, where in a video game, you are participating in simulated acts that, if replicated in the real world, would be disastrous. And they feel like they're like desensitizing you to the idea of doing those things in real life, which I just feel like isn't really true. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, you kind of have to be predisposed to want to do that kind of thing. And I don't think video games are like an explicit motivating factor towards you going, you know what, yeah, I could do that. You know, I don't think that's the case. Let's see. Matt said, that's why video games having more and more cases of being beneficial to society are important. Because you feel like it like counteracts like the public's view of video games. Then Ryan said, "Now do we want to talk about what is causing such terrorism?" And I was like, "No, no, I do not." Then Matt said, "No." He said, "This discussion starts and ends with video games." I am in the camp of more talking about the video game part rather than anything else. I think the only terrorism discussion that you could like get me on, Ryan, where I'd be like, this is kind of interesting, is the concept of sentient AI being put in games like Sim City and stuff like that, where you have the ability to create your own city and manage all these people, but all the people have like emotions and their own personalities and make their own decisions. But the consequences of your city building can potentially have a negative consequence on the people in the city. And at what point is it like video games getting into an immoral territory with how they're treating supposedly sentient AI? Because I think that'd be interesting. Ryan asked, "Is genocide wrong?" Um, I would say that genocide is wrong. Do 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 do. And then Matt said, "And here we go again." Uh, so Ryan's trying to get in here with these political topics, but I feel like we could dodge those. Um, I'm almost done with Superpower Battles Volume 5, by the way. Um, I've I don't want to say I finished the fifth story in Volume 5, but I've gotten to the point where I wrote the end. I still want to reread the fifth story and then make any edits to it that I might want to make after reading over the whole thing again. And then after that, I got to finish up Volume 6. I mean, sorry, after that, I have to finish up the sixth story, and then I should be done. Let's see. Ryan said, "Is genociding AIs wrong?" I do think it would be wrong to mass genocide artificial intelligence that we call sentient. If we're gonna go as far as to say that AI like has its own intelligence and its own personality, can make its own decisions and feels emotions, then I don't think we should make games that are like kill all the sentient AI. I just feel like it's not fair to the AIs, and I just feel like it's heavily inappropriate. Then Matt said, "Darn it, a topic Jet can't resist." Ah. I liked your reaction, Matt. I thought that was rather entertaining. I am a big fan of talking about sentient AI. Ryan, if you like change most of your political topics to being about like how we should treat sentient AI in simulated environments, I feel like I could be down with that, like discussing that. For example, with the is it wrong to genocide AI, it's easy to apply the concept of emo shaped technology being put in a game like Hatred or something, where the whole point of the game is to run around and just shoot all of the like AI characters. Um, I just feel like that's something that could legitimately be done in the modern day, and I wouldn't be okay with it. And I just feel like it would be a strong abuse of power on the developer side to do something like that. Let's see. And then Ryan said, "Is it wrong to torture AI?" I also agree that it's wrong to torture AI, and I feel like a real world example would be putting sentient AI in a game like Grand Theft Auto. Um, Not to say that Grand Theft Auto is full of torture. There is one torture scene in Grand Theft Auto 5 that I'm aware of, where I feel like that would be kind of shitty. But also, you can just kind of torture characters in general in Grand Theft Auto, because you can do stuff like shoot people in the leg and they like fall and they like beg and stuff like that. You know, and you can also like rob people in Grand Theft Auto. I just feel like it gives players a lot of opportunities to torture AI when they probably shouldn't. Let's see. Matt said, "Jet, what do you want to see in cross tag?" I don't particularly have any like big things I'm looking for in cross tag. I'd really like them to introduce. Can't remember the character, but there's an under night in birth character who has a spell book. Can't remember his name for the life of me, but I really like that character, and I think if they added him to cross tag, I'd be pretty hyped. Also, I want to see Beth play cross tag. She's shown interest in it, and it's legitimately, I think, the only fighting game other than Skullgirls that Beth has seen and went, ooh, like actually been like, hey, I kind of want to play that. Though Beth only really wants to play the Ruby characters, which I think is disappointing. I showed her a lot of Blaze Blue characters that I think she'd like, and uh, I she likes some Makoto. I think everybody else is kind of she's like meh. Let's see. Ryan said, "Is capital punishment immoral?" See, you didn't phrase that as a AI based video game question. I don't really have no motivation to answer that. Tangent said, "Face, face, face." Matt said, "Chaos." I believe is that character. Yeah, it's a Google away. You know, we could easily figure that out. Let's see. Tangent said, "I'm here for once." Oof. Welcome, Tangent. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Yeah, you discuss that. Do you have any discussion topics you like to talk about on the stream? And don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Matt said, "Uni Under Night and Birth is getting a new game." Huh. Now that's interesting. I haven't heard about that. I am interested in hearing more about that. Also, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this, but Sony is trying to make live action shows based on their Spider Man characters that they own. And I've heard that those live action shows are going to connect to the Spider Man Into the Spider Verse movie, but they're going to be live action. Tangent said, "I'm good. Gotta pop off because school is getting started soon. I did smash that like, and I don't know." Well, thank you for joining us, Tangent. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful night tonight and that you have a wonderful day tomorrow, and also a wonderful first day of school. But yeah, thank you once again for tuning in, Tangent. I hope to see you again in the near future. Matt said, "Jet, how could you not be hyped about the tank in cross tag? Because I don't really care about playing it as a tank in fighting games." Then Ryan said, "Why do you care more about the ethics of AI more than the genocides of humans?" So it's not that I care more about one over the other. It's more that I'm more interested in talking about one over the other. Because I think we could legitimately make it, because it's not that terrorism isn't illegal. It's already like not legal for you to do stuff like that. But in the realm of like video games and how AI is progressing, you could potentially have a video game with a incredibly intelligent artificial intelligence who can make their own decisions, can express and feel emotions, react to the world around them, and form their own personality. And in that game, do anything you want to that character, and it's just fine. Like there is no law against it. There's nothing that says you can't do that. And I think that's why where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think there should be more like discussion on that, and I think that's why I like talking about that, because I just feel like it's a weird place. You know what I mean? Um, Matt said because of Jet, and then Matt said the HUD for Crosstag is also being updated. Why? And then Matt said and looks nice. Oh, it sounds like it's like an aesthetic change. Then Ryan said, do AI deserve suffrage? Suffrage. I'm going to double check to make sure I know what that means. The right to vote in political elections. Okay, so I think that's an interesting question. The reason why I feel like that's an interesting question is because there's already a debate about whether or not AI deserves certain rights. For example, I feel like a sufficiently powerful enough AI should at least have the right to not be put in games designed for them to be tortured or where they have no choice but to be tortured. I think that should be a thing. Um, but the right to vote, I can see why some people would be like, yeah, and I can see why some people would be like, no. I could see some people saying, yeah, um, certain AI should be allowed to vote as long as they're programmed in such a way to where they can make their own decisions based on how they feel. Because with the emo shape AI stuff, for example, um, it's not hard for you to program an AI that can make choices based on their emotions, and because they understand natural language, it's like if you told them the political views of a particular politician, they could form a legitimate opinion and they could act on that opinion. So, if there were multiple presidents running who each had their own view on how semi sentient AI should be treated in games, you'd think that said semi sentient AI, my goodness, it's interesting, senti sentient AI. That was an interesting accident, but that already is a Japanese word, so that probably shouldn't become a shortening. Anyways, you'd think that a sentient AI would want to be able to pick the politician who would give them more rights. You think they'd be like, I'd want the one who actually cares about my opinion and isn't for me just being put in games where I could get tortured. You know what I mean? The reason why I'd be like, nah, is because I just feel like with those sentient AI, I think people could try and stretch it and create AI on purpose in order to influence elections. Like, specifically make a sentient AI and then put them in a digital environment that is essentially propaganda and make them want to vote for someone over another. Because we have so much control over their environment, I just think it's unfair to allow them to compete in political elections. If you feel like ads are being thrown in your face all the time now, like just in a world where we perceive the digital through devices, imagine perceiving the digital as your everyday and how much that could be used to manipulate the way that you feel and think. Matt said Janimba also exists, as does Gogeta. Buy the DLC. No, thank you. Colin and like Dozer will get the DLC, and I'll get to hang out with them. I'll get to play the games with them, and you will get the DLC. See, Matt, I got all these opportunities to play this Janemba DLC and this Gogeta DLC. I don't really need to buy it. Come on. Then Matt said, and apparently Guilty Gear is getting a reboot. A reboot. I'm curious to hear what Colin's thoughts are on that. Matt said, Jet, what would it take to get you to traditionally learn a fighting game? I'm actually really interested in buying and playing Fantasy Strike, but I don't think I'll be getting Fantasy Strike anytime soon if the next game on my radar is the Lego Movie 2 video game. But I think that's the next fighting game that I want to actually like get into and like really like get into playing. Then Matt said, as in looking at buttons and combos and labbing it out as needed. And then Matt said, Jet, stop being cheap. I don't think it's as much me being cheap as much as it is I feel like I buy a lot of games and then I end up not playing all the games that I buy. And it's not necessarily that I dislike all the games that I buy. It's just I'll fall off of playing video games for a while, and then when I'm interested in playing games again, I'll be like, oh, there are all these new games, or there's a sale, and there are all these like games that are available at like a cheaper rate. I'm gonna get these like cheaper games, or I'm gonna get this new game that I think I'll really like, and then I get those, and then I fall off of playing games for a while, and then it's like, oh, I didn't play all those games that I got before, so I'm trying to beat a game before I buy a game. I've also been doing that with books recently, kind of. As soon as I said that sentence, I was like, that's not entirely true. So I recently finished reading the DC Character Encyclopedia, front to back, the latest one that came out this year. Um, and after that, I bought How to Write Comics by Stan Lee. I'm currently reading that on Kindle. But I also bought a hypnosis book, but that's for like me and Beth to look at, which is why I haven't been reading that. And I also bought an Anatomy of Metahumans book that covers the anatomy of the different characters in DC and stuff like that. And it's written by Batman as he's trying to understand how superpowered people work in his world. It's actually a really cool book. But I haven't finished that yet, and I bought the Stan Lee book and the Hypnosis book before I got the Anatomy book. Then Matt said, Jet, just don't buy things that are on sale that you don't need. Well, a lot of times when I buy books, I'm still talking about books. When I buy games that are on sale, they're games that I think I'm going to want to play and enjoy playing. And then I get them, and then I'm like, oh. So I thought Portal Knights could potentially be like the next Lego Worlds for me. And then I played a little bit of Portal Knights, and I was like, wow, I don't like this. And then I got Minecraft, and I was like, it's inexpensive. And I've enjoyed Minecraft in the past when Jonathan had it and we were all playing it together. I just grew trees all the time. And then I was like, wow, I sure could go without this. So then I didn't really buy with Minecraft. I did like the first Battlefront game. I thought the first, like Star Wars Battlefront 1, I actually did everything I could do in that game. I literally played the whole game. Battlefront 2, I was like, this has a legitimate story mode. I think I'm going to like it even more. That was a lie. I don't like it even more. I don't like that Battlefront 2 has a story mode. I actually preferred how Battlefront 1 was like, you pick whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Like, you get to see what each mission is before you do it, and you can pick which missions you want to do and which ones you don't. You're not locked into doing anything, and you know what you're getting into before you like do anything. And then for Battlefront 2, they're like you're following a storyline, and it's not as freeform where you could just choose like, oh, this time I don't want to do this kind of mission. I want to do a different type of mission. It's like, nope, you're gonna do whatever mission comes up next in the story. And if you don't care about the story, then I guess you're just in it for the long haul or whatever. But I also had you play as a bad guy in Battlefront 2, and I was like, why? I don't know. I'm not particularly interested in that. But I actually like the Battlefront games. At least one. Sorry, it's weird to say games. I liked the first one. I actually thought it was fun. I don't even like shooters, and I was like, this is actually a fun game. Let's see. Matt said some of the stuff you buy are downright silly for investment purposes. You bought both Star Wars Battlefronts. even knowing that people said both were bad, and you bought a toy roguelike game that you only played once. That toy roguelike game was a mistake. I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, this looks really cool, but I kind of thought the game was going to be different from what it was. I thought you were going to like explore a house and that sometimes it'd be nighttime, sometimes it'd be daytime. Um, and I guess I expected a little more structure than what was there. They kind of just drop you into the game, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna like learn all these systems and stuff as you go, and you're gonna figure out how to like craft and upgrade and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, I kind of don't want to do it like that. Can we not do it like that? And could you like?" I know this is gonna sound very noobish, but I'd prefer if it like held my hand a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna be really novice. Also, we hit 1 hour, so I do have to end the stream for now. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. This is your friend, your boy, Jet Black the one and only. Log it out. Peace, and I'll see you guys soon. Chicken guy.